Hi, everyone, and welcome to NameHero.com. Through our exclusive partnership with AffiliateFix.com, we're offering 50% off your first month discount with our managed servers. And in this video demonstration, I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to set up your own managed server with us so you can get started with all your affiliate hosting needs. Okay, let's get started here setting up your first managed server with us here at NameHero.com. Now, if you're not a technical guru, don't worry. You don't have to know any technical details. We handle all that for you. You just have to enter a couple quick text fields and name your server, and it can be set up. And this is going to take under a half hour, 15 minutes on average. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so if we jump down in here, you're probably on this page right here to get the Affiliate Fix discount. So to get your exclusive discount code, all you need to do is enter your name and email address. Once you do that, you're going to get an email to confirm your identity. Once you confirm that, the code sent directly to your inbox. Once you get that code, you'll take it, you'll click the link in the email, and you'll be sent to our managed server page. And this is where you make your selection. Now, if you have any trouble getting that coupon code, feel free to reach out to our support team. We're here 24 hours a day to help you out. Okay, so on your screen right now is our managed cloud servers. So the first selection you need to decide is, do you want to start out in our United States data center, or do you want to go to our Europe data center? So the question you have to ask, where is the majority of your traffic to your campaigns coming from? Are you promoting campaigns in the United States or in North America, or are you promoting in Europe internationally? The closer your server is to where your traffic is, there will be less latency. It'll be much faster. So if you're losing clicks right now, you're not going to lose those clicks anymore, and you actually get more traffic to your pages. So for this demonstration, I'm going to concentrate in the United States data center, but please feel free to use the EU data center as well. And you'll notice our EU data center, we have a promo going on right now that has additional space. So if you need a lot of space in your international affiliate, those solutions work out very well. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started here. All these servers, they vary mainly on bandwidth or on RAM and disk space. So with a managed server, normally what I recommend going with is the 30 gigabytes, but you can, if you have a limited budget and you need to get started, or maybe you're just developing your campaigns, you can get started with the $49.95, and you can upgrade at any time, which is a cool thing. But I recommend most affiliate marketers to start off with the $99.95 a month server. Remember, with Affiliate Fix discount, that's going to go ahead and split that in half for your first month. So you're essentially getting a 4 gigabyte at an 8 gigabyte price. And it's 8 gigabytes of dedicated RAM and 30 gigabytes of storage. So I'm going to go ahead and deploy this. And it just takes a second here. So we're going to get here, and this is all we need to do to configure the server. It's not complicated at all. There's no technical knowledge, as I've already said. But the first thing we need to do is we need to name your server. And so this should be a domain that you already have. If you don't have one, I recommend registering it. If you register it with us, the benefit is you can go ahead and set up your name servers. So you can have private name servers with us here at NameHero. So if you don't have one, I recommend just grabbing a domain as well with us. But if you already have one, you can use it, and you can change this at a later time. So what I like to do is normally I have a lot of different servers when I'm setting up my affiliate campaigns, depending on where it is. So since this is a United States server, I'm just going to type in US 8, and then for my domain, I'm going to use namehero.org. Okay. Now, for root password, this is very important to use a very hard to guess password. You want to use uppercase characters, you want to use special characters, and you want to use some numbers. So I like to put just some random stuff in here. And you want to make sure you write this down, or you can use a password generator. Either way. Next is the name server prefix. NS1 and NS2 are default, so that's what we're going to keep those at. And that's just when you're setting up your websites, you're connecting your domains to your server, you'll use name servers. So I recommend just NS1 and NS2 to keep it simple. Next, there's a couple options we can configure. By default, this comes with 2 dedicated IPs. That should be good for most of you, but if you need more, they're very inexpensive and you can add them here. Monthly bandwidth, 5 terabytes a month is going to be fine for most everyone. If you need more, you can add it later, or you can add it here. but I don't really believe you're going to go over the 5 terabyte limit. Backups, I do recommend doing this. You're going to do a daily backup plan, and this backs up all your data off-site, and this does not count against your disk usage on your server. So I definitely recommend doing it. At least back up 1 day worth of data, just in case something would happen that you would lose something. We can restore it, or you can restore it inside of our interface with just a couple of clicks. So I definitely recommend at least backing up one time and keeping 1 day's backup. We have some additional add-ons here. If you have a lot of media files, a lot of banners, a lot of videos that you need for your landing pages, then I recommend picking up an extra 150 gigabytes of block storage. This can be used for any of your files for the web, but it's got to be mounted separately. But it's an additional charge just if you need some good storage space. And you can also store backups on this as well, which would be off-site, off your server. So select that if you need it. Dedicated SSL certificates, if you need those, go ahead and pick them up now. Next, Lightspeed Web Server is very popular amongst affiliate marketers because it pretty much supercharges your server. It's about 9 times faster than Apache. So you can add this later as well. So if you get your server and you decide that you want to make it go a little bit faster, you can pick up the Lightspeed license. Now this license is a Lightspeed licensing fee. It's not a NameHero fee. So we have to actually pay them per license. So if you want to order that, you can order it through us and we will install and configure and manage it for you every single month. But there is a fee, and you can read more about the Lightspeed web server by clicking that link and going to their website. Finally, the last add-on that's available to all servers is MariaDB, and this is a drop-in replacement for MySQL. It's just a better performing database, and it doesn't matter if all your scripts are for MySQL. It's just a drop-in direct replacement, so it's not going to break your site or break any of your scripts. And once again, you can add that later, but I don't recommend really going too far along without it. If you want to just set everything up today and then come back tomorrow and add it, we can do that. But once you get up and running, you don't want to go adding that later because it could break something. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and continue, and I'm not going to add any add-ons for this demonstration. Okay, so now here is where we are going to put in our coupon code and complete our payments. So go ahead and pull up your email at this time and enter in your promo code. I'm going to pause this video while I do mine, and then I'll continue on as the server's set up. Okay, once you've made your payment, your servers immediately launch as long as you pass our fraud check and all that fun stuff and everything's approved. Everything automatically will begin to set up. So I'm going to walk you through the initial setup process, what you need to do. Once again, if you're not technical, don't worry about it because we make this very simple. And I'm going to walk you through step by step. And if you have any questions, you can submit a ticket and we can do any of this process for you. But it is quite simple. So let's go back over here to our browser. As soon as we complete our order, you see you're going to get an order number, and then you can continue on to the client area. The client area is where you're going to manage everything. It's where you're going to manage your server and your domains, any tickets and invoices and all that will be right inside of here. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and just click in Cloud Web Hosting, and you're going to see the server that we just deployed is right here. So we're going to click on that. Now you can see we're loaded up here, and this is where you're going to manage the server. So we can scroll down and you can go ahead and get familiar with all these different buttons. Now you don't have to, again, you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. So if you're not a technical person, don't worry too much about it. But if you want to manage your server, such as just starting or shutting it down or rebooting, going into Web Host Manager and cPanel, as well as viewing the history of the server, it's all right here. Also, if you ordered the block storage, it's going to be accessible right here, and as well as your backups. You can restore and manage your backups right here inside of our interface. But it's pretty straightforward. What you're going to use the most is the link to Web Host Manager. So what I like to do to get started is I click Login Details, and you're going to see here's our password. This is our root password that we set up. Now again, you don't want to give this out to anyone. You want to keep this just for yourself because if someone gets access to this, then they can get access to your server. So you definitely want to keep this in a safe place. So we're going to copy this. And as soon as we copy this, we're going to click on the Web Host Manager link. Now you're going to notice we get a security error, and that's because you're accessing Web Host Manager through your IP address, which doesn't have a security certificate. If you would like one on there, you can simply purchase one from us, or you can set this to be your host name so you can access Web Host Manager through there. But nonetheless, this is secure and it is safe because it's your server and your IP address. So we're going to go ahead and ignore that warning and proceed. Okay, so to log into Web Host Manager, you're going to want to use the username root. You want to ignore the username that's in the client interface because we're going to go with root privileges. We're not going to use this username. We're going to just use root. Okay, and then we're going to use that password that we copied, and we're going to click Login. Now, the first time you run Web Host Manager, there's going to be the licensing agreement. Go ahead and read through it, print it out if you need to do that, and just go ahead and agree. Now next, it's going to ask if you want some of these additional modules for your server. Again, if you're not a technical person and if you don't know what they mean, then just leave everything default and click Save Settings. If you're technical, you can get in there and read those, but for most cases, you're just going to save it and everything's going to be good to go. Okay, so now you're inside of Web Host Manager, and this is where you're going to add all your domains and set everything up. But before we get started, there's one more step we need to do to complete server setup. And that's click Basic cPanel and Web Host Manager Setup. So as soon as we click this, we're going to look and we're going to notice the email address right here. You want to change this to your email address, or you want to change it to contact@namehero.com. Either one. If you want us to receive your server notices, that's fine. Send them to us and then we will manage them for you. Or if you want to get them, then just put your email address in here. Or you can put our email address, comma, your email address. It'll go to both places. So it's completely up to you. But if we don't have we understand that your privacy is very important. So if you don't want us getting notices, you don't have to send them to us. But if you want us to manage these notices when they come in, you can add that contact@namehero.com and it'll pipe through our system to the appropriate department. Okay, so we're going to scroll on down here, and you're going to see earlier we set up NS1 and NS2. Now it automatically pulled our domain, namehero.org, for both of them. So the first thing we want to do is assign an IP address to this name server. So we're just going to click Assign IP Address. Okay, so now we're going to take this IP and we're going to copy it. So after we assign the name server an IP address, we have to register this. We have to register this name server with the domain registrar where you bought the domain. That's so you can use the name servers ns1.yourdomain.whatever and ns2.yourdomain.whatever to connect your sites. So if you registered your name with us at NameHero, or if you register an additional name with us at NameHero, I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, if you register your name somewhere else, then you can search their knowledge base, and every registrar out there, especially all the popular ones, have detailed instructions how to set this up. Additionally, their support department should be able to help you as well. But I'm going to go back over here to NameHero, and I'm going to go click on Domains, My Domains. And this is the domains that I have registered. So you can see I've got 2 of them in here. So namehero.org is the one we're going to mess with, so I'm going to click right here. And I'm going to scroll over to Private Name Servers. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to type in NS1, and I'm going to enter that IP address. Okay, as soon as I do that, I'm going to click Save. Now, I think I actually already registered one of these, so let's just go ahead and make sure it's deleted. The old one is, and then we'll go ahead and make sure we set this new one up. So let's take NS1, we're going to move it out of here, and then we're going to add in the NS1 with the new IP address. Okay, so, and save. Okay, so now it's still giving me a duplicate just because I've already set that up ahead of time. But anyways, it won't when you do that. Now you want to go over here, and as soon as you do that, you want to click Add an A entry for this name server. And it's just going to take a second to pull up. As soon as it pulls up, we're just going to paste that in there, and we're going to click Add Entry. And it might be already correct in there, but I always like to paste it to make sure. And then we're going to do the same thing for NS2. We're going to click Assign an IP address. We're going to click it. We're going to go back over to here. We're going to type in NS2. We're going to enter our IP address, and we're going to save it. And it might give me an error here too, since I had already set up namehero.org's name servers, but it won't do that for you. And once again, if you did not register your name with NameHero, that's completely okay. Give them to your support department and they'll help you out, or search their knowledge base. You just need these IP addresses and the suffixes. Very simple and easy, but it is definitely it's definitely needed for your dedicated managed cloud server. So then we're going to add the entry here too for NS2. Okay, so once your name servers are set up, you are ready to go. You're ready to set up all your domains on this server. So what I like to do is I like to type in create the new account, and you're going to see right here is where we do it all. So for this demonstration, we're just going to add namehero.org. We're going to add that as our first domain. Now remember, since this is a managed cloud server, you have unlimited domains. You can host as many domains as you would like, but this is how you get them added. So what we did is I'm just going to make this NameHero. And we're going to use the password generator to generate a strong password. Make sure you copy that in a safe place because that's also going to be your cPanel password. We'll get to that in just a second. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and enter our password. You want to enter your email address in here. Now for this, you do not want to enter our email address. You want to enter your email address, your tech guy's email address, your CTO, whoever manages this site, you want them to have this email. So in case they lose their cPanel password, they can get it reset. Okay, if you set up a bunch of domains, you can actually set up a package. You can see right here, you can actually add a package. This is more for web hosts, people that are offering their clients space. So what I do is I just set my options manually, especially when I'm running as an affiliate. But if you're selling web space, then you'd want to set that up. But you're most likely not. You're doing this for affiliate marketing. So what I like to do is I normally set my disk quotage and everything to unlimited, and then I just leave these the defaults. Now, if you want to add these to unlimited, you can as well. But it's really up to you, because as long as you have room on your server, you're going to be able to create as many accounts with as many resources as needed. The only other step that a lot of affiliates like to do is sometimes you like to assign a dedicated IP address for a domain. This is where you would do that. You would select it here if you wanted to do that. Now, just for this demonstration, I'm not. Now, I do recommend removing shell access. You don't want to give that out to anyone, and you don't even have to know shell, but you just definitely don't want to make it active on any more places than it is, because it poses a great security concern. So I actually even recommend turning that off altogether, which I'll show you as soon as we do this. And you can leave everything else default. Of course, we want CGI access. And there's some extra details here if you want the account for a reseller. This is more for web hosts. We just ignore that. We can use all the DNS settings that are default, and we can automatically detect the MILF configuration. That just keeps it simple. And after that, we click Create. It just takes a quick second for the domain to be added to your server. And then at this point, you're ready to go. So the last step you have to do is you just have to set your name servers on your domain to ns1.namehero.org and ns2.namehero.org, and then your domain is connected to your managed cloud server. So if you are using NameHero, we would go back to our control panel. We would go back to where we were messing with our domain earlier. We would click Name Servers. And then we would enter them in here. And you can see I've already got them in here. So we click Use Custom, and we would enter ns1.namehero.org and ns2.namehero.org. And we would do this, and we click Change Name Servers. Now, depending where you are, if you're in the United States, propagation normally takes about an hour. If you're internationally, this could take a little bit longer. So please just have some patience. As soon as you change this, your site might not be active till everything propagates. So feel free to get a cup of coffee, go out for a walk, then come back, and it should be good. If not, submit us a ticket and we will help you out. But going back here to your server, that is it to set up as many domains as you need. You just rinse and repeat that same process, and then it's going to do that. There's one more thing I want to take care of, and that's I want to disable SSH login, and this is just very important for security reasons. You don't want anyone to be able to SSH into your server except yourself. If you're not familiar with SSH, then you don't even want to worry about it. So we're just going to disable password auth. And all we did was click SSH password authorization tweak, and we just disabled it. And again, our support department can do that for you, but we don't by default. So you want to make sure you do that. It's just a good security practice. Okay, the final thing is we can go to list accounts. In each domain you set up in here, you can access cPanel right here. Now, many of you that have had web hosts in the past, especially shared web hosts, they use cPanel, so you're going to be very familiar with this. This is where you're going to go to upload your pages, to install WordPress, or to do a number of different things. So what you can see when I get into cPanel for this domain, I can click on File Manager, and this is where I would go to upload my landing pages, upload my tracking software, or upload anything else that I needed to for my domain. If you have an FTP program, such as Transmit or FileZilla is a great free one, you can use that. But if you don't want to download any software, you can simply use the File Manager here inside of cPanel. Also, these are the databases where you can set up all the databases you need. So if you have a script that requires one, you would do that in here. Other important things is setting up things such as email accounts and all that fun stuff. It's pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, you can let us know. Finally is our apps installer down here. You can go into here and actually install things like WordPress, Prosper 202, Revive Ad Server, and a number of different other pieces of software. So make sure to just click that and you can walk through that process, and it just automatically installs those, so you don't have to worry about installing WordPress on your own. You can just one click install it. If you have any questions on how to use that, just let us know, but it just makes it very simple for you. But that's pretty much it to getting your domain up and going on your managed server, to getting your files uploaded, to getting WordPress set up, or anything else you need. Again, subdomains is in here as well. If you're not familiar with cPanel, there's plenty of walkthrough and tutorials on our website and throughout our help docs, so feel free to look through there. And then, of course, if you have any questions, you can just simply let our support team know. If we go back in here to the NameHero control panel, we can click on Home. And right here is where you go to submit a ticket. If you need to raise a ticket with us, you would do it right here. So that's going to conclude the initial setup video. Here in just a second, I'm going to show you how to scale your server if you need to upgrade or downgrade. Okay, for the conclusion of our video tutorial here for our exclusive affiliatefix.com presentation, I want to show you how to scale your server. Now, this is really good for affiliate marketers because let's say you set a new media buy live and you just get a ton of clicks, or say you have a campaign that starts really working well and you want to scale it up, but previously, if you were on a web host, you would have to upgrade your hosting package and go through that process of moving the files and doing all that. Well, that's not the case with NameHero. Since we're on the cloud, we can expand or we can make your server smaller, downgrade it, in just a matter of seconds. All you have to do is click in our interface and pay the difference if there isn't a difference, and then your server's scaled up or down in real time. Now, the only thing is you probably want to schedule this. So if you know you're going to launch a big product on Monday, then probably Sunday night you'd want to come in and do this just to make sure everything goes smoothly. Now, normally if you're upgrading, there's a very small window of downtime, normally about 8 minutes total. That's because at the beginning of it, it's got to actually stop the server for a second, then it starts, and then it upgrades, and at the end, it's got to do a quick reboot. So, you're looking about 8 minutes of total downtime, normally like 2 in the beginning and the other 6 towards the end. But you always want to schedule that in time, even though you can do it in real time. It's best just to schedule it so the day of your launch of your campaign or of your product, you're not having any server difficulties. So let me show you how. We're going to head over here to the NameHero control panel, which you should be familiar with at this point. Once again, all our news, everything's posted in here. You can manage all your domain registrations, which I highly recommend. Our platform's really affiliate friendly with some really cheap privacy protection, which I know is a huge selling point. Okay, so we're going to click on Cloud Web Hosting. We're going to select the server. Okay, now we have these 2 big buttons here, one to cancel and one to upgrade or downgrade. We just put upgrade on there though. So we're going to click upgrade, and then you can see our options are we can go down, we can downsize it, or we can go on up. Now, if you are downsizing, it does take longer. You're going to have more downtime. Now, depending on how large a server you're working with and how low you're going, you definitely want to make a larger window to schedule that. And it's not a long time, but if you're taking the disk and sizing it down, it's a little bit more complicated than taking a disk and expanding it up. So if you have any questions, you might want to get with our support team prior to doing that. But let's say you want to get up to 16 gigabytes of RAM and 60 gigabytes of storage with 8 CPU cores. Man, this is a powerful machine. This is one of my favorites that I recommend to a lot of our super affiliates out there. They'll do this for some of their largest campaigns, so everything's separated. So all we would do is click choose the product. Okay, now you can see we can add a promo code if we have it. We can choose our payment method, and everything's good to go. Now you can see we prorate everything, so you don't have to. So if you just purchase, like we just did earlier, you don't have to pay the full amount. It's just simply prorated, so you only have to pay the amount that is due for the current month, which I think is a huge bonus. So just one second while I pull out my payment method and get this paid, and then I'll show you how we continue on here. You make your payment, you're going to see that it says thank you for your order number, and we're just going to go back to the client area where we were, and we're going to click on Cloud Web Hosting, and you can see what was the 8 gigabyte server is now the 16 gigabyte server. All your files and stuff are coming along. It's the same server, it's just getting bigger. And we can scroll down here, and you can see under status, we're already running. We've already completed the upgrade. Now, if sometimes it might take a little bit longer to upgrade, so it'll say upgrading or scaling or building even. So this is where you can check the status of that. But when it's complete, you'll be able to click Web Host Manager and log in. And you can see it's probably not quite finished yet, so it's probably going to spin out there for a little bit. But normally in the upgrade, it just takes a couple different times, and you can see it's not loading just yet because it's still completing the scaling up process. But if you do have any questions or concerns, you can just let us know, and we'll definitely help you out on that. But that's about as simple and as easy as it gets right there. If you're going to run out of RAM, if you're running out of space, it just takes a couple clicks here, and you can be set up and all good to go with your server. And again, if you want to downgrade, again, you might have a little bit longer of a downtime period as that completes, whereas you're looking here at 8 minutes from start to finish to scaling up. If going down, you might be looking a little bit more towards the 16-minute line. It normally takes at least double, and if you have a lot of files and stuff, it might take even longer because it actually has to shrink that file structure down with keeping your files. So it's something important. If you're downgrading, you probably want to reach out before you go pushing stuff, just to be on the safe side. But the upgrade is just that simple and easy, and the space and RAM is instantly available. You don't have to wait for us. You can do it on the fly. Now, it's also important to note that you cannot scale US to EU. You have to scale in the data center that you originally purchased. So if you want to move, if you have a nice United States server and you want to move to a European server, that's fine. We can do it, but we have to actually manually do that for you. We can't scale it automatically. So that's important to note. If you want to scale your server, you have to do it in the database or the data center that you ordered. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks a bunch for watching these tutorials today. Our whole team's available at your disposal. So if you have any other questions, if you need help migrating your data or setting anything else up, just feel free to submit a ticket, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. Thanks again, everyone, and welcome to the NameHero.com Managed Cloud.